This is news for March 2022. The results of a public opinion poll on the 1st showed that Democratic Party presidential candidate Lee Jae-myung and People's Strength candidate Yoon Seok-yeol were fighting within the margin of error in the opinion poll for the next presidential candidate. As a result of a survey conducted by the Public Opinion Survey on a virtual multilateral confrontation among 3,004 adults nationwide from the 25th to the 27th of last month at the request of the Dailyan, Candidate Lee and Candidate Yoon received 42.3% and 45.4%, respectively. Candidates Lee and Yoon rose by 1.5 percentage points and 0.1 percentage points, respectively, compared to the previous week's survey. On the 1st, candidate Ahn Cheol-soo of the People's Party, which has been criticized by the people for the failure to unify, announced his position that he was willing to meet with candidate Yoon Seok-yeol, the People's Power. Amidst the growing pessimism about the unification of opposition candidates due to the breakdown of unification workshop that ignited on the 27th, Ahn made a statement that he did not rule out the possibility of a stand-alone relationship with candidate Yoon. However, there are also observations that candidate Ahn expressed a principled position. Candidate Ahn responded to a reporter's question, "Are you willing to meet with candidate Yoon after the March 1 Independence Day ceremony held at the Provisional Government Memorial Hall on the same day?" "There is," he replied. "The Ukrainian army, which has been invaded by Russia, is accepting volunteers from any citizen who is willing to fight, regardless of gender, background, or combatability. Even women, like Yulia, who have never held a gun, are going to the battlefield saying they will protect their homeland with their own hands." Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced on the 27th of last month that a total of 100,000 people, including volunteers, have been additionally registered as reserve forces in the past 2 days alone. Olena Sokolin, a businesswoman who enlisted in the volunteer army that day and came to receive a rifle, said, "The moment I heard the explosion, I thought that I was ready to volunteer for the military. I am an adult and I am healthy. This is my duty," she said. Nadia Babashi, a mother of her 2 children and a 5th-year non-commissioned officer, currently serves as a sentinel at a checkpoint in the Zloty region of eastern Ukraine. It is at the forefront of fighting with the Russian army just 400 meters away. Babashi's right hand, holding her gun, holds her wedding ring and engagement ring. He said, "The reasons why women enlist in the military are no different from men. We want to protect Ukraine too," she said. "We are here to protect our country and our families." Olena Bilrogorska, who serves as her sniper in the Ukrainian army, learned how to shoot at her veteran husband, her husband. "When I first appeared on the battlefield, all the male soldiers thought I was a doctor," he said. She said that Bilrogorska said she possesses intimidating marksmanship, making her a prime target for Russian troops, U.S. media reported. When Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, women were rare in Ukraine. However, since then, women's enlistment has steadily increased, and now women make up 10% of the government's army. Foreign media evaluated that Russia's plan to occupy the capital in a short period of time went awry as ordinary citizens, including women, the elderly, office workers, and the self-employed, participated as volunteers and engaged in a decisive battle. While the international community is unanimously criticizing Russia for the invasion of Ukraine, public opinion is forming within China that supports Russian President Putin. On the 28th of last month, the New York Times reported that the Chinese internet was overflowing with praise for Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Earlier, on the 22nd of last month, Putin justified Russia's invasion of Ukraine through a 3-hour televised speech. At the time, Putin said, "Modern Ukraine was made by Bolshevik Communist Russia. Russia's subsidies to Ukraine amounted to about $250 billion from 1991 to 2013, along with economic and trade preferences, and Ukraine has developed its own nuclear weapons. It has been mentioned that there is a willingness to develop it." The Chinese state media reported Putin's speech with a hashtag meaning 10,000 words full text, and the Chinese version of the speech reached 1.1 billion views in 24 hours. One Chinese said, "Why do tears come out of Putin's speech? The reason is that China is being treated the same by the West," he said. Chinese netizens also praised Putin as Putin the Great, the greatest legacy of the former Soviet Union, and the greatest strategist of the century. In addition, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying said at a regular press conference on the 24th that, "Based on factual judgment, I cannot agree with the Western media saying that it is an invasion of Russia," he said in de facto defense of Russia. At the same time, spokeswoman Hua Chunying criticized the United States and NATO, and the People's Daily article that featured the speech also achieved 1 billion views on hashtags. Although public opinion opposes the war, the New York Times analyzed that the Chinese public opinion supporting the Russian invasion may be due to the influence of political leaders such as Xi Jinping. The United Nations issued a fourth joint statement condemning North Korea's missile launch, and South Korea, which has been repeatedly absent, joined the UN's condemnation statement for the first time this year. The UN Security Council held a closed meeting on the 28th to discuss North Korea's launch of a ballistic missile. At the meeting, the Ukraine crisis was the main agenda item, and North Korea's recent missile test was reported to have been discussed as an off-the-top discussion. After the meeting, 11 countries, including South Korea, the United States, Britain, and Japan, issued a joint statement condemning North Korea's missile launch. The UN ambassadors from 11 countries, including South Korea's UN ambassador, said, "We urge all member countries to condemn North Korea's dangerous illegal activities with one voice. We will commit ourselves to our serious and continuous pursuit of diplomacy," he said, calling on North Korea to choose a path to alleviating tensions in the region and promoting international peace and security. While North Korea's missile provocations occurred 8 times this year, South Korea did not participate in the joint statement at the previous 3 UN Security Council meetings on January 10, 20, and February 4, but this time it turned to participation. Earlier on the morning of the 27th, North Korea fired a missile, presumed to be a semi-medium-range ballistic missile, from the Sunan area of Pyongyang into the East Sea. It was the 8th missile launch this year. Thank you for watching today. Please like and subscribe.